money on it. There was a whole team of staff that were involved in it. And we say back again to the province, this is our plan. This is what we think will work in our community. A mass communication system may very well be part of it. We may lose the grant that Bill has informed us we tentatively have made available to us, but that's not to say you can't try again. I think we were all frustrated with what they did to us in that regard, the ministry that is. So I do support, Mr. Chair, the recommendation in this report, but I encourage Council, when the time is available, to bring that document back in front of us again and reaffirm our position as a county that is, in fact, a valid approach to emergency response and evacuations in those communities. Thank you.
Perhaps at that time we'll have a different government. Councillor Brunton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You know, this whole thing came about, I thought, when we were arguing over Hastings Drive. And I'll be honest with you, I've never had trouble getting out of Dover or Turkey Point or Long Point or any of those places over the last 50 years. Anyways, what I wanted to, Chris, you touched on it there a minute ago regarding someplace in the last week or so I heard where I think it's the federal government are going to implement a program on cell phones for emergency early warning system or something where it comes over your phone. And I don't know if that's for nuclear fallout or what it's for, but it's going to, I understand that it's the federal government that's going to implement that on all cell phones?
Through the chair, I just saw an ad on television last night, and it's and maybe Bill's got more information, but it's not just nuclear fallout; it's natural disaster, something, and it's by geographic regions and things like that. So, Bill, do you know anything?
Through the chair to Councillor Breton. Yeah, I believe the program, if it's the same one we're following, is called the Alert Ready, and it's got federal and provincial combination together. Our emergency management folks have said that this program has been being worked on for about a year, but the announcements are just coming out. So you are correct, it is with cell phones. I'm not maybe Mr. Wallace could jump in here, but it's something about an LTE. You need an upgrade. It's something on your phone to get it. I believe most cell phones have it unless you've got the old flip up. And they're starting to roll this out. We don't know how effective it will be. It could be a very good solution for Norfolk County. I apologize a bit, it's not mentioned in this report, but it hit the news or the airwaves, after the report was well into draft, and we are following that.
Okay.
So that is a possibility with this as well. We just don't know. The other thing with that, it does nothing for internal communication. It's external, and it's very limited. I believe it's some of the fire staff would be the only ones that would be able to put the call out and work with it.
Well, yes, there could be more coming down the pipe, I guess, in terms of early warning for things, and I can support the report for now and wait and see what happens in the next while with other things that might happen. I'll leave it at that. Thanks.
Okay, I know that Councillor Height actually has a recommendation. He's moved a recommendation. I need a seconder for that recommendation. I don't see a seconder, Councillor Height. So I need a mover for the recommendation as printed. Councillor Oliver?
Mr. Chair, I think we've had a good discussion on all sides, and this is now another reason perhaps why this recommendation is appropriate, that we cancel this RFP right now. We'll wait and see what comes, bring back our emergency response plan when the council's ready, and go from there. So I'll move the motion.
Okay, seconder, Councillor Brunton. Okay. I do have one question, Mr. Cridlin. Do you know if we implemented this whole program, that would reduce our liability, right? So would our insurance premiums drop significantly enough to offset the cost of a staffer?
Through the chair to Councillor, same person here. I'm not sure. That's maybe something we could discuss at SLT. The other reason is there's a flip side to this too. If we were to get the program and didn't have the staff to follow up, it could work against us where we have a program in place, but where there was also a stat too that was mentioned, I believe in the literature I read, that If you leave this for the public to voluntarily sign up to put the information, I think sometimes responses were as low as 10% in a population, whereas if you actively promote it and have staff on it, it gets as high as 80, 85%, and that's when you get your biggest bang for the buck. So I can't really answer that question, but it's also the other side. If you have it and it's not fully, the information's not there, you could be the other extreme could hit you as well.
Thank you for that. So we have a mover and a seconder, and the recommendation reads that report CS 18-24 RFP CSD ADM 1702 mass communication system be received as information, and that the request for proposal CSD ADM 1702 be canceled and notification be provided to the proponents. No further discussion. Those in favor? Those opposed? That is carried. One opposed. Thank you. So we're going to take a break for at least 20 minutes. Will be at least 20 minutes.
On a strip of sandy soil lies a county called Norfolk. It's Ontario, south coast, you know, and it's surely not remote. If you pass through or spend a day or decide to call it home, you'll see why we love it here and are proud to call it our own. Norfolk, Norfolk, a southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger long. Take in the small town atmosphere, be amazed at all that we grow. Like our kids that go and see the world and can't wait to return home. Drop a line in a placid lake or stroll along the shore. Take a tour on a peaceful country road and bound to be back for more. Of Norfolk, Norfolk, my southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger long. With hard work we built a dream that only willing hands could do. It's on display at our fall fairs and at all the festivals too. Erie beaches, Carolinian forests, where the flower and dogwoods bloom. Patchwork fields and rolling hills, it's just the place for you. Norfolk, Norfolk, a southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger On a strip of sandy soil lies a county called Norfolk. It's Ontario, south coast, you know, and it's surely not remote. If you pass through or spend a day or decide to call it home, you'll see why we love it here and are proud to call it our own. Norfolk, Norfolk, a southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger long. Take in the small town atmosphere, be amazed at all that we grow. Like our kids that go and see the world and can't wait to return home. Drop a line in a placid lake or stroll along the shore. Take a tour on a peaceful country road and bound to be back for more. Of Norfolk, Norfolk, my southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger long. With hard work we built a dream that only willing hands could do. It's on display at our fall fairs and at all the festivals too. Erie beaches, Carolinian forests, where the flower and dogwoods bloom. Patchwork fields and rolling hills, it's just the place for you. Norfolk, Norfolk, a southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger long. Norfolk, 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 you won't be a stranger long. On a strip of sandy soil lies a county called Norfolk. It's Ontario, south coast, you know, and it's surely not remote. If you pass through or spend a day or decide to call it home, you'll see why we love it here and are proud to call it our own. Norfolk, Norfolk, a southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger long. Take in the small town atmosphere, be amazed at all that we grow. Like our kids that go and see the world and can't wait to return home. Drop a line in a placid lake or stroll along the shore. Take a tour on a peaceful country road and bound to be back for more. Of Norfolk, Norfolk, my southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger long. hard work, we built a dream that only willing hands could do. It's on display at our fall fairs and at all the festivals too. Erie beaches, Carolinian forests, where the flower and dogwoods bloom. Patchwork fields and rolling hills, it's just the place for you. Norfolk, Norfolk, a southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger along. Norfolk, 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 you won't be a stranger along. On a strip of sandy soil lies a county called Norfolk. It's Ontario, south coast, you know, and it's surely not remote. If you pass through or spend a day or decide to call it home, you'll see why we love it here and are proud to call it our own. Norfolk, Norfolk, a southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger along. Take in the small town atmosphere, be amazed at all that we grow. Like our kids that go and see the world and can't wait to return home. Drop a line in a placid lake or stroll along the shore. Take a tour on a peaceful country road and bound to be back for more. Of Norfolk, Norfolk, my southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger along. With hard work, we built a dream that only willing hands could do. It's on display at our fall fairs and at all the festivals too. Erie beaches, Carolinian forests, where the flower and dogwoods bloom. Patchwork fields and rolling hills, it's just the place for you. Norfolk, Norfolk, a southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger along. Norfolk, 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 you won't be a stranger along. On a strip of sandy soil lies a county called Norfolk. It's Ontario, south coast, you know, and it's surely not remote. If you pass through or spend a day or decide to call it home, You'll see why we love it here and are proud to call it our own. Norfolk, Norfolk, a southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger long. Take in the small town atmosphere, be amazed at all that we grow. Like our kids that go and see the world and can't wait to return home. Drop a line in a placid lake or stroll along the shore. Take a tour on a peaceful country road and bound to be back for more. Of Norfolk, Norfolk, my southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger long. With hard work, we built a dream that only willing hands could do. It's on display at our fall fairs and at all the festivals too. Erie beaches, Carolinian forests, where the flower and dogwoods bloom. Patchwork fields and rolling hills, it's just the place for you. Norfolk, Norfolk, a southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger long. Norfolk, 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 you won't be a stranger long. On a strip of sandy soil lies a county called Norfolk. It's Ontario's south coast, you know, and it's surely not remote. If you pass through or spend a day or decide to call it home, you'll see why we love it here and are proud to call it our own. Norfolk, Norfolk, a southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger long. Take in the small town atmosphere, be amazed at all that we grow. Like our kids that go and see the world and can't wait to return home. Drop a line in a placid lake or stroll along the shore. Take a tour on a peaceful country road and bound to be back for more. Of Norfolk, Norfolk, my southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger long. With hard work, we built a dream that only willing hands could do. It's on display at our fall fairs and at all the festivals too. Erie beaches, Carolinian forests, where the flower and dogwoods bloom. Patchwork fields and rolling hills, it's just the place for you. Norfolk, Norfolk, a southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger along. Norfolk, 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 you won't be a stranger along. On a strip of sandy soil lies a county called Norfolk. It's Ontario, south coast, you know, and it's surely not remote. If you pass through or spend a day or decide to call it home, you'll see why we love it here and are proud to call it our own. Norfolk, Norfolk, a southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger long. Take in the small town atmosphere, be amazed at all that we grow. Like our kids that go and see the world and can't wait to return home. Drop a line in a placid lake or stroll along the shore. Take a tour on a peaceful country road and bound to be back for more. Of Norfolk, Norfolk, my southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger along. With hard work, we built a dream that only willing hands could do. It's on display at our fall fairs and at all the festivals too. Erie beaches, Carolinian forests, where the flower and dogwoods bloom. Patchwork fields and rolling hills, it's just the place for you. Norfolk, Norfolk, a southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger along. Norfolk, 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 you won't be a stranger along. On a strip of sandy soil lies a county called Norfolk. It's Ontario, south coast, you know, and it's surely not remote. If you pass through or spend a day or decide to call it home, you'll see why we love it here and are proud to call it our own. Norfolk, Norfolk, Take in the small town atmosphere, be amazed at all that we grow. Like our kids that go and see the world and can't wait to return home. Drop a line in a placid lake or stroll along the shore. Take a tour on a peaceful country road and bound to be back for more. Of Norfolk, Norfolk, my Southern County home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger long. With hard work, we built a dream that only willing hands could do. It's on display at our fall fairs and at all the festivals too. Erie beaches, Carolinian forests, where the flower and dogwoods bloom. Patchwork fields and rolling hills, it's just the place for you. Norfolk, Norfolk, a Southern County home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger long. Norfolk, 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 you won't be a stranger long. On a strip of sandy soil lies a county called Norfolk. It's Ontario's south coast, you know, and it's surely not remote. If you pass through or spend a day or decide to call it home, you'll see why we love it here and are proud to call it our own. Norfolk, Norfolk, a Southern County home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger long. Take in the small town atmosphere, be amazed at all that we grow. Like our kids that go and see the world and can't wait to return home. Drop a line in a placid lake or stroll along the shore. Take a tour on a peaceful country road and bound to be back for more. Of Norfolk, Norfolk, my Southern County home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger long. With hard work, we built a dream that only willing hands could do. It's on display at our fall fairs and at all the festivals too. Erie beaches, Carolinian forests, where the flower and dogwoods bloom. Patchwork fields and rolling hills, it's just the place for you. Norfolk, Norfolk, a Southern County home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk.
Okay, council and committee, we will reconvene. I see the hour is 5:30. And our next report is with respect to the film production policy revisions. This comes under Development and Cultural Services. Mr. Clark Hoskins.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you very much for the opportunity to present this to you tonight. The film production policy in front of you basically relates to films, television series, as any commercial film, television, photography, streaming services that may come to Norfolk County and film here. The policy was almost 17, 18 years old, actually, that we're updating. And you may recall a few weeks ago, we had a request for some filming in Port Dover, and there was a little bit of confusion about things. So we wanted to make sure that we got this policy cleaned up and streamlined. There's probably been 8 to 10 projects in Norfolk County since I started here. Commercials, car commercials, reality shows. Probably the one that's most memorable was the zombie movie in 2008, Survival of the Dead, that was filmed in Port Dover. So the report basically shows the changes to the policy. I'm not going to read through all of them. I do want to mention a couple of key things. One of them is that we've added some sections on local sourcing, so encouraging film production companies to use local businesses for products and services as much as possible. We've also tried to streamline the road and street closure area, and in that case, we're asking for the authority to close a road or street to be delegated to the general manager of public works or her designate, just to streamline that process. There's also some additional areas around location, set decoration, props, etc. Just making sure that, for example, if a production is using mock weapons or mock police cars, that the police are aware of that and people know about it. Also a new section on drones, because they're increasingly being used and they need to have special certificates as well. And then I guess finally, we're just hoping to delegate any future amendments to this policy to senior leadership teams so we can continue to tweak it as we move forward. I wanted to add too that there was an error in the report. I failed to make sure that the financial services comments were inserted, so I'll read them to you. So from financial services, recognizing that filming productions generally vary in complexity, needs, and budget, the proposed policy requires each filming activity to be evaluated on an individual basis. Based on this premise, administrative and permit fees are recommended that council approval is required before any such fee is charged. In addition, any direct costs incurred by Norfolk will be reimbursed by the applicant, which is included in the report. Given it cannot be determined when and how many film projections or productions may take place in Norfolk County, the approved and future operating budgets do not include any allocation. However, any reimbursements or fees paid will offset current and additional costs incurred by Norfolk as a result of the filming production. So from my department's perspective as the kind of official film liaison office, we don't see a lot changing with the reimbursements and fees. We're really just trying to clean up housekeeping aspects of the policy at this point. If we do see that there's a lot of increased activity in this area and there is a requirement to formalize some fees and that type of thing, we'll definitely come back to council. So with that, I'll be happy to answer any other questions you might have.
Questions for Mr. Hoskins? Mayor Luke?
Well, thanks very much, Clark, for this. And certainly I didn't realize how old the old policy was, or whatever you want to call it. And of course, my questions, excuse me, Mr. Chair, are around what Clark has just explained, and that is fees. So it's fair to say through the chair to Mr. Hoskins that we will be asking for the $5,000 security deposit, correct?
Through the chair, we'll only ask for it when it is required, and usually that's in relation to a street closure or something like that. For example, if a student filmmaker wants to shoot a scene in a park, and it's just that student and an actor, 2 people in a camera, we're not going to ask them to do that security.
So I am on page 3 of 14. Excuse me. expenses, the county may charge the film permit fee, et cetera. You did say, in answer to my question that I was going to ask, that you will come back to us with possible charging a fee.
Through the chair, that's a possibility. Currently, we don't charge fees. We're just facilitating the process. But if we do see the need for one, we may be back.
All right, and then I think that's a good approach is to continue here and should, from experience, Mr. Chair, the permit fee is deemed to be something that we definitely need to do. It's taking a lot of staff time or whatever reason, then we'll deal with it then. But I noticed in the application attached, there was the mention of the deposit, check off in the box, but there was nowhere in the application where it was asking for any fee at this time, so I'm happy. Thank you.
Councillor Oliver.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have two questions, Clerk. I'm looking at page 92 of our agenda, page 2 of the report now in section 5, where you mentioned, and you did mention this to us, an increase in the requirement for liability coverage from 2 to 5. Are we doing that for everyone now who deals with the county, or was it just increased for this group because of some perception that there's a higher risk?
Through the chair, the feedback I got from our folks in corporate support was that, in general, that amount is being increased to $5 million. So we're just getting into line with the rest of the initiatives that require such a thing.
All right. And my only other question, I had some question about fees, but Mayor Luke asked them and you answered them, so I'm fine with that. The next one is, the only other one is section 17, which is this drone section. And when I read that, I thought, boy, oh boy, that seems awfully onerous if we're now going to require a drone operator to have the Special Flight Operations Certificate from Transport Canada. I mean, I don't know what that is, but it sounds bureaucratic to me, or bureaucratic rather. I can't see, I guess, where it might be students doing a little film or somebody small scale with one of those little drones. I'm surprised that we would be insisting on that kind of certificate unless it was a big 300-pound drone with a commercial video camera hanging from it. Could you explain why that's in there for every single case, or unless you can waive it, in which case it should be in there that it could be required, could not be required?
Sure. Through the chair, the Transport Canada, the federal government, has changed all the rules on drones. So if you're not just flying one on your farm in your backyard, and you basically need to have this certificate to be able to take it out off your own property. So this isn't a municipal thing. It's a federal government thing that's changed over the past year or so. And we do have businesses in Norfolk County that are licensed or have this certificate. It's just the way that the world is going. Regardless of how big a drone is, it does have whirling blades on it, and to have it drop from the sky and land on people isn't a good thing. So all we're really asking here is that we want to know that it's happening, and that we want our first responders to know where it's being used, and that they follow federal guidelines, basically.
Oh, and you may not know the answer to this, but is there a minimum altitude requirement? In other words, if again it's a student project and they're only going up 50 feet, they don't require it, but if you're up over a certain minimum altitude, you must have the certificate? Do we know that about the Transport Canada requirement?
Through the chair, I'm not an expert on those requirements. We could certainly circulate them to you if you like. There's a lot of different things. There's altitude. There's whether you're flying over public areas, public property, that type of thing. So if you'd like, we could share those.
Yeah. Well, no, that's not necessary. I guess I was glad to hear you remind myself and perhaps other councillors that we do have local companies here in the county that do have that kind of certification and who could provide that service to the film company if they want to do aerial shots. Correct?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anything further? If not, I need a mover and a seconder for the recommendation as printed. Sonnenberg and Luke. Move the recommendation that report C DCS 18-46 film production policy revisions be received, and that the authority to approve closures of streets, roads, and sidewalks related to film and television production be delegated to the General Manager of Public Works or the designate, and that all other changes in the revised policy DCS 01 film production policy be approved by Norfolk County Council, and that Norfolk County Council delegate the approval of future amendments to policy DCS-01 to the senior leadership team. I do have one question that I just thought about when I saw General Manager of Public Works. If there's going to be road closures and that type of thing, would there be a problem in notifying the ward councillor of this type of activity? Because they might be getting phone calls if it's not done through this process.
Yeah, and through the chair, there's actually a section in the policy that talks about notification to council and the general public for sure.
Okay,
yes.
good. So, Ms. Robbins.
Through the chairman to council, to respond to that, part of the reason for the General Manager of Public Works signing off is to make sure that we do the appropriate service disruption notices, and those are distributed to all members of council. So absolutely, the reason that we did some of those minor changes was to ensure that we did make sure that we got the service disruptions posted.
Great. Those in favor? Let's carry unanimously. Thank you. Now moving on to the school crossing guard request at Oakwood and Homewood Avenue School. This is Mr. Baird.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Very briefly, we received a written request from the principal of St. Joseph's School here in Simcoe, 34 Potts Road, Jody Curran. Staff subsequently met on site with her and her team members, as well as the Norfolk OPP. They're experts with traffic and so on. In accordance with the policy, we conducted student counts in that immediate location. There's a key map attached to your report, which is on page 130 in your agenda, and it shows the proposed location, or the preferred location, at Oakwood Avenue and Homewood, just immediately adjacent to the school site. Just very briefly, we're advised not only is there a high student population in that immediate area, but like we heard earlier this evening about, albeit Lindale, hosting students from other schools for the next little while. This school, St. Joseph, is expanding into a French immersion program starting in September. So the warrant criteria has already been met, and we expect it to be, considerably more. A significant increase in students. We conducted student counts April 9th and 10th, which was a favorable weather day, so we get a better idea how many people are walking as opposed to being driven in the rain. It draws from all across the area. There are, I believe, 11 or 12 buses that also come and go, and although they do arrive at different times, they're staggered in the morning, they're all let out at the same time. So the problem, that interaction is high throughout the day, not just in the morning time. So the warrant criteria, the findings, is on page 126 in your agenda. As a result of our staff review, the point total was 7, whereby if point totals are 6 to 10, the warrants are met. And this is a consistent warrant criteria that we use for all crossing guard requests in all locations. So based on that, staff have recommended to council that a new school crossing guard be hired for this location. The cost for that program is going to be a partial cost for the remainder of the year. So that would be from effectively May and June, and then September through December for the 2018 budget year. Our finance colleagues have indicated that supporting this proposal would impact the levy by $5,800, and as well would be an adjustment for 2019 and future years. But with that, I'm glad to answer any questions.
Questions? Mayor Luke.
I'd like to move the recommendation in the report.
Seconder? Councilor Black? Speaking to it?
Yeah, excuse me. Certainly, number one reason for approving this, it meets our criteria. As Mr. Barrett said, the school is expanding with French immersion. It is a very big school. I don't like comparing schools, but Elgin Ave has 5 crossing guards. West Lynn currently has 3. Lyndale Heights currently has 3. Now, there is a crossing guard probably shared at the corner of Vittoria and Donley by both schools if there's in the subdivision east of Lyndale Heights can be crossing to go to St. Joe's across Victoria. But, Mr. Chair, those are my reasons for supporting this, and thank you.
Councilor Black?
Mr. Chairman, certainly I'll be supporting it as well. We're looking at the safety of our kids. It is unfortunate that we need to protect them so well, but I've seen that the very people that are dropping off their kids are the ones that are speeding and causing some problems. But we never used to have this before. I guess it's with the advent of the vehicle. We have so many vehicles and people driving their kids to school. I mean, I did it myself with my daughter, and I tried to park about a block away and she could walk, because it's crazy around all of the schools, the high schools, like you name it, every one of them, and not just here, but everywhere. So there's a distinct need for this, and there's a distinct need for the general population to be cognizant of the kids going to school everywhere.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? Moved by Mayor Luke, seconded by Councilor Black. That report DCS 18-51, school crossing guard request, Oakwood and Homewood Avenue School, Simcoe, be received as information, and that the council support the implementation of a new school crossing guard for the St. Joseph School, Simcoe, and further that the approved 2018 levy-supported operating budget be amended to include $5,800 for the implementation of a new school crossing guard for St. Joseph School in Simcoe. Those in favor? That is carried unanimously. Thank you. And now we're going to go to the award of contract for a Lassalette Bridge rehabilitation. Ms. Robinson.
Through the chairman to council, before you is the bridge contract award. It is for the award of 3 bridges. This year, as council is aware, staff have been working very diligently to stretch our limited funds as far as we can possibly stretch them. One of the ways that we've seen is doing this is combining a variety of projects into a single tender. We believe that it gets us much more competitive pricing. Something we did a little bit differently this year, due to the timing of which we actually issued the contract, we allowed the contractors to choose which year they would construct the bridge projects. We gave them the option of constructing any of them in 2018 or any of them in 2019. As you can see, we received extremely competitive pricing. We're really, really pleased. There's give or take about a $40,000 difference on a $1.5 million project between the 3 low bidders. It lets us know that our pricing was really competitive, and the strategies that we used this year were very successful. We have complied fully with the purchasing policy, and we're recommending that the project for the 3 bridge rehabilitations be awarded to FinBuilt for the amount stipulated in the contract, and we'll note that they are constructing 2 bridges in 2018 and the 3rd in 2019, and this will not have an impact on the 2019 budget. The bridges that are still proposed for 2019 will still be bringing forward. It is being funded through this approved capital budget, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, questions to Ms. Robinson? Don't see any hands up here. Yes, Councilor Height.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I was just looking for the budget amount. So how much under budget was this in total?
Through the chairman to council, approximately 290,000 under budget total.
209?
No, 290.
290. Thank you for that.
Okay, Councilor Black.
Move adoption of the report and the recommendations contained therein.
Okay. Seconder, Councilor Sonnenberg. Okay. It's moved by Councilor Black, seconded by Councilor Sonnenberg, that report PW 18-28, the award of contract for East Quarter Line, Lot 10, Concession 8, and the Lassalette Bridge rehabilitations be received, and that a bylaw be prepared authorizing the mayor and the county clerk to execute a contract with the firm of FinBuilt General Contracting for contract PWE 18-51 in the amount of $1,505,808.85, excluding taxes. Councillor Black.
Well, and I would like to congratulate staff for coming forward with kind of a new concept. And it looks like it has paid off with a $300,000 just about reduction from our budget. So, I mean, that's not chicken feed by any consideration. So thanks staff for that. It's being more open-minded and more flexible on the approach to doing our roads, and as Lee said, stretching our limited dollars a little bit further. Much appreciated.
Thank you for that. Anybody else? Just, Ms. Robinson, a question here with respect to these bridge repairs. Any consideration, will they be complete shutdowns when they're constructed?